Hello guys, welcome back to Go Discs. We're looking at the Winter Willows. This is Autumn Antiques and Winter Tales. So let's get around to it. So this is the second part of that sort of trilogy of Daily Mail releases, released in 2008 to coincide with the complete collection, the first edition. And yeah, it's been interesting. Also, it's also last time, probably one of the few last times I'll be talking about the Wind and the Willows, really, because of Hall's version. So, and also share my thoughts on a few episodes, really. Share some light on them, of course, and thought why not. I didn't actually mention why they actually came, or how they came to be in my possession, really. Largely because Aaron Taylor, aka Bazman993, for everyone who's not who's lives under a rock, did ask me a question to see if I own any other merchandise, really. I said, well, not really, I don't. So I ended up buying these three promo DVDs in a little together. They're all bunched together. Sometimes you tend to get them together from eBay, very cheaply done, very cheap as well. So that's all right. At least you have like 18 episodes to go on, so that's decent. Also, same with the film as well. I'll go in that double pack as well with the Biv Tune washed it down, interestingly. So that's the reason why I got these, actually. I thought, why not just talk about these, really? So it's, yeah, and also share my thoughts on episodes, really. Yeah, so that's just to clear up the thing that was missing in part one. So let's go to part two now. So we'll start with Autumn Antiques. So this was released in 1987. It got reissued in 1995, which was part of the, was it September 95? So it was part of the transition from the video collection to VCI at that point. So it's one of the earliest videos to do that, actually. Along with a few, I've gone with a few. Was like Your Favorite Story Collection, Bouncy Castle and Other Stories, Little John Boy and Other Stories. There's, and again, maybe a couple more, actually, that could be just on the top of my head, really. But that was part of the whole transition, of course, which led me to do a children's preschool promo, of course, at the time, which has gone highly successful. So obviously, and also you got reissued again in 2000. It did similar artwork as well, of course. The original VHS version does contain an image from Toad's Harvest, interestingly, even though that didn't get released until like 1992 or something. Funny enough. So yeah, let's go down to it. So first we got is Harvest. This is from Series 2, Episode 8, I think. It's a lovely episode, this is. I do like, how it's shot, how it's filmed and everything else. It's wonderful. Like, how the style of it looks, again, it's like glistening, very soft of its time. This is, one of the reasons why I do like Autumn for. It captures like a multitude of colours, and everything else is really good. And obviously, the story goes, it's to do with like getting nuts and berries for hibernation for the winter, of course, really, and the weasels get sort of get involved, hide the belongings, of course, in a tree, and the weasels take them and just basically just sort of blame Toad, or basically frame him for trying to very much take their supplies, really. Toad, of course, like he's who sort of comes along, but he's not very interested, really. So, because obviously it's very early in the morning, and he just picks berries randomly. And there's that famous scene when he thinks he's been poisoned by some berries, like he's pretending to, really. It's like, I think some belief, probably think, he is. You probably think, oh my God, is he poisoned? But actually, no, he's faking it, really. Like he's eating some blackberries and he sort of panics, and he thinks. He sort of becomes like, becomes all dramatic and everything else, which is, again, a really good scene. It's sort of like a memorable scene from the Wind and Willows, really. Again, from Series 2. Quite a lot of memorable scenes, really. Yes, it's just a really good one, actually. Very nice start to the video. Now, next up we've got is Monster of the Wild Wood. Now, this is from Series 4, this is. I think this is number 10. Number 10, yeah, episode 10. Halloween theme. This is set Halloween time. There's some strange sightings going on in the Wild Wood. Like some monster that saw breathes steam and has glowing eyes, like lights and stuff. And it freaks the youngsters out, of course. Toad, of course, makes his own Halloween costume using papier-mâché masks, uses too much glue and also gets his face stuck on. And leads to comedic moments, of course. One scene I do like in Monster of the Wild Wood is when they remove the mask obviously, and they just basically go out to the wild wood, and basically just, you know, search for the monster. Like you say, we've seen something, let's go to the wood. Um, it's the scene when Billy Barrett wears the mask and he sort of freaks Toad out. Would you stop wearing that? It's that little moment I actually really love. Really, I think it's really good. Animation-wise, it's fantastic. Obviously, from series 4, it is again really good. It's probably one of the better episodes, I would say. There's a lot of good memorable stuff. This is one of them, really. Again, hams of the detention, really, of course. But it's not really scary to, maybe some kids maybe watch it back in the 80s. Probably think it was, but who knows. But again, I really do enjoy it, of course. It's directed by Francis Bowes as well. I haven't really mentioned about directors, even though I'm trying to think of the history of them. Most of them are done by Jack Cockle. Chris Taylor's done a few as well. This is one of the other ones who, it all came to the end. Comes to the end of again, series 4, really, because we have Francis Bowes coming on board. He did Hall for Sale, and Tunnels and Tremors he did. I'm thinking of the next episode I'm talking about. So he did them 3, of course. They became a main director, of course. Jack, of course, stayed on, and also Brian Little came on board for series 5. Just a little preface there. Also, Barry Purvis did some directing as well. I'm not too sure I forgot the episodes they was doing, but he, as director a couple as well. So there's about 5 directors who have tackled, the series very much, and yeah, interesting stuff. But it's a really good one, very good stuff, and also, again, another memorable scene. It's like when Badger sees Toad in bed, like he's frightened. He's Toad, are you ill? Again, that's something a bit funny about that. I do like that. And also when he realises what it was, it's like a steam traction. Yeah, said it's a steam traction engine, and of course you get that moment like he's dead deadpan, and the music sort of has like an interesting glockenspiel, like it's a realisation theme. You think, oh yeah, but it's really good. I really do think it's a good story, fantastic story. And that leads into the last one of Autumn Antiques, which is Remember, episode 11. Again, a good one. Bonfire Night, 5th of November. It's just a really good one, because Toad brings out the chemistry set and makes his own fireworks with some unsatisfying results, which I think making fireworks is probably the dangerous thing ever, really. In terms of Toad's case, again, very dangerous as well. So like, you can actually be horribly burned, terribly burnt or something, But it's like, again, it's a pretty interesting scene. Lovely, again, direction-wise, really goes well. You've also got the, it's towards the end, really. I think towards the end when the weasels love the fireworks that the stole from Toad. Basically, a very nice bit of colours as well, very nicely done. The effects on it are actually really nice, very lovely done. They are. Same, again, the sky, really good stuff. Obviously, it does the safety thing as well, in terms of like Bonfire Night as well. So it has like an educational, I guess like promotional PSA about it as well, in a way. That most of the weasels get burnt, most of the home, the wildwood sort of ends up in flames, really. You don't really see it as much. You only see like, they start a fire, and then you see like little flickers of orange sticking out from the wood, of course, but you don't see the full drama of everything else. Probably not. I think that's for the best, really. But you see them like stumbling around, limping, in like under an orange light. Brilliant stuff that is, Obviously it's, again, it's like these sort of educational things, like, you could, something like that, they can probably end up setting fire to all sorts of stuff, really, and then injuring people in the process. That's sort of like, again, an educational way of doing it. I think that's worthy, I think it's pretty good. So that's Autumn Antiques. And then we move on to the final season, of course, which is Winter Tales. 3 episodes, of course. This was originally released in 1986, so this has actually come maybe after the movie came out in 86. So I think like the first official Woody and the Willows VHS to feature episodes from the TV series, of course, and rightfully so. It's a really good one. A lot of good stuff on this one. I probably think Summer Escapades, Autumn Antiques, and Winter Tales have probably got the best episodes on them. You know, Spring Follies has its it has some good episodes. In terms of variations, I think I'll probably say the original '88 version's the better one in terms of episodes. When you come to '95, it's sort of you have Lost River in there. It's not really the best episode, really. And yeah, so I'll probably say this is probably one of the better ones, along with Automatiques and some Escapades. So let's go through these. So again, released in 1986. Then again, 1994. I think after the original, again, because when Thames Video released them in the 90s, of course, they did the film first, then they did Potato to Toads. Then, of course, they did Winter Tales, Spring Follies, Automatiques, and then Summer Escapades, in that sort of order. So there we go on that one. Yeah, and then it got reissued again in 2001, 2001, again 4 seasons as well. And also, they've also been released on singular discs as well, like in carry cases, if you've ever seen them. So yeah, interesting. So let's go for the stories. So, Winter Sports, first episode of Series 2, really good stuff. Obviously, Want to Send Snow, really good. Again, the thing that sort of sells it really is Toad trying to ski. Really, that's the main sort of thing about it. Really, Toad wakes up. Great, it's snowing. I'll get my kit on, and skis on and everything else. And he's just like singing and doing and yodeling in Toad Hall and sliding down the stairs, which is absolutely fantastic. Considering it's like from the second series. This is like from 1986. This is again really good stuff. Really, again, it's just that brilliant shot of him like sliding down, like going down the stairs of Toad Hall. And you just, again, brilliant direction. Really good stuff. And also the scenes where him up against the weasel sledding down, and they mess with his skis. They take one of his skis off, and he does it with hopping on one leg. Very good stuff. Again, it's just one of those. Instead of in wintertime, probably one of the best times to watch it actually. And again, really good stuff. Very fun. It's a very fun episode. It is really. Just skiing, really, building snowmen, that sort of stuff, and ends with Toad giving people, youngsters a hamper, which is pretty good. Next up we got is The Rescue, and yeah, this is the one. This is from series 2 as well. This is episode 3. This is, again, a really good story. This is, I think in this case, Manchester's not in this one, but it's mainly just Toad, Mole, and Rat in this one. Obviously, if a young shrew called Ernest disappears, and so they go looking for him, Toad in his sort of what do you call it, expedition gear, like in a silver parka jacket type thing with fur hood and stuff. It's like again, an interesting design, really. I don't know. That might have been around at the time. I don't know, or maybe just like try and look something fashionable for Toad. I don't know. It's very 80s in my opinion. His look in that one. You probably think it's like from you think of the Olympics. You think of Eddie the Eagle or something really. At that time. And you just sort of you can probably picture Toad wearing that sort of thing on his skis. Doing winter sports or something. Again, it's just one of those things. You think could he wear? It might work there, or maybe like a second try, or maybe just him on a wooden sleigh or something with that on. There we go. You've also got the weasels as well, who are sort of playing tricks, and I like the little twist at the end. It's like you think oh, they're just basically just keeping him there. They walk away, and obviously Ernest shouts for help, of course. And I think we knew it. It was them. And it's actually Toad trying to pick him up, saying that he's found him. Really. It's that sort of thing. Also, how to make what do you call it? A funny bunny? I think it's the weasel. It's referred to as what the weasels do. Like use a handkerchief where you make a rabbit out of it or something. And again, it's a nice story. One thing about this story though is its various release. I think this is the only time I'm talking only on this these releases of Winter Tales. There's different versions of it. There's So the rescue of this one is sort of edited, really, sort of partly edited, and when it got reissued in 2000, they extended it, and some interesting reasons. We're not sure what reasons why. Maybe the timing stuff. We don't really know really. It's still an unanswered question. It's still floating in the air, but that's just a little thing just to point out, really. And finally, we end with the Yuletide Entertainment, which is the last episode of the very first series. So again, it's a nice little end, really. It's basically a, what do you call it? A variety show, really, of sorts. Toad doing trying to do his singing speech, of course, being the star of the show, which ends up probably wrong. He ends up actually swallowing down his mustache and ends up choking on it. Rat does the Duck's Ditty, which was from the original movie, but Pierce House is singing it this time, which is interesting. I was quite surprised actually, because you sort of used to listen to Ian Carmichael do that version. Actually hear him in the Yuletide Entertainment, it's like a bit strange, really. It's like if you probably listen at first to Silas's version, then hear Ian Carmichael's version of it afterwards. It's like I don't know if it makes much difference, but it was sort of interesting when I saw it chronologically, of course, first. Mole does a little song as well, because he wasn't part of the show, but he ends up filling in for Toad, really, at that point. Again, it's just one of those things, really. It's a nice little... It's like a Christmas panto variety thing. Very much, again, a really good one. It's a nice one to end off, really. With stories at the end of the series, there's always some good ones as well, like Fancy Dress is a good example, of course, Costume Party, with a little bit of the weasels up to their mischief shenanigans, really. Winter Horse is different because it's more like a ghost thing, really. People wandering around, it's St. Toad Hall, snowed in, people think there's obviously Toad dressed up in a sheet and think he's a ghost, which is interesting. Happy New Year, that's all... It's all built up and it has a good resolution at the end, and so... it's like everyone's just willing for the good New Year, the railway not coming and everything else, that sort of thing. Then you got Toad Filmic, which is like, again, very finale-esque, really, in terms of what it is, really. Obviously, it's Toad trying to make a film, really, and obviously it's all to the end, really. It has a nice little ending finality to it. It does. Speaking of which, with the Yuletide Entertainment, this is a similar thing with the rescue, of course. It's been edited, of course. So this version here is the 20-minute edit. When it was originally released in 1986 and 1994, it was 25 minutes, of course. So like 5 minutes were cut off. Yeah, but apparently there was to do with some copyright reasons with a song it is, or some bits of copyright, really. So that was never... Your only viewing experience of it, really, is from the original UK VHSs or the A&E DVD box set came out in the States of the first series. And yeah, but obviously when it got repeated on Channel 5 in the late 90s, it did. So obviously, I think I understand because they have to cut it out to make a 20-minute slot, really. So it's sort of, I mean, that would have been acceptable. But they used that cut on the 2000 release of Winter Tales, extended the rescue, and then sort of do the same here with the DVD releases, It's strange, really. I don't know why, but, we can't keep everything, nothing is complete, really. In the US, we definitely get it. They get it complete. We don't around here, really. In terms of obviously that 20-minute version of the Yuletide Entertainment using the DVD boxes as well. So it's not really, it's like the complete collection. Well, no, you're missing 5 minutes. 5 minutes worth of it still gone. So yeah. But anyway, it's still a good story. Nice way to finish off, really. It's a nice way to finish off this episode of Go Discs, really. With Yuletide Entertainment. But thank you guys for watching. I've been talking about Autumn Antiques and Winter Tales from 2008, the promo DVD for the Daily Mail. Anyway, see you later.